I get tested every other day now. I know it's in the contract for the opera I'm doing right now that we have to go, but I don't have the bad one though. They just swab the inside of your nose like 5 times, so it's really easy.
Okay, is it a rapid test or a PCR test?
It's rapid, yeah. It somehow turns out that I take the test, and then a couple minutes later, when I'm down there in my dressing room, they've already sent me the results. I don't know how they do it so quick, but it's really Science.
That's how they do it.
That's science.
Good callback, Leedyz.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent.
Who's our guest today?
Adam Sank.
Adam Sank. But you know what that means?
That Brett's gonna be late?
No, but you know what that means.
No, what?
Because we get to turn on the jar machine again today.
Ah, we get to turn on the jar machine.
Every time we have a guest whose name begins with A.
That's true.
Or a last name that begins with A. I'm willing to completely fudge the rules here.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
You could just add an A on every guest. Yeah, just do that.
Our guest today is Mark A. Normand.
There you go. A is Mealy. Yay.
A, Liz Mealy.
No, A, yeah.
Leedy, did you grow up in Albuquerque?
I did, yeah. Born and bred, and I hardly left until very recently, so.
Nice.
Yeah, so the upcoming tour is going to be a bit jarring, but exciting.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do they teach all Albuquerque children isotopes history?
No, not at all. I know very little. I just enjoy going to the games.
So just to be clear, you do not know the origins of the Albuquerque Isotopes baseball team, even though you went to a baseball game just like yesterday, the other day, right?
Yeah, do you want to tell me? Why? What am I missing?
I would love to tell you.
Leedy, what did I say to you earlier today?
You wanted me not to mention MacGyver. You didn't say anything.
I said,
are we going to talk about MacGyver? Is this what this is
if
about?
you ever want Rob to talk effusively about something, not that there are so many subjects that Rob won't talk effusively. He has a lot of thoughts on a lot of things, but bring up MacGyver, and that'll be one of them. So there we go. This is the perfect thing for me to walk in on.
I have so many questions.
Can we just, before you tell this, can we just do sound check before Adam gets in?
Yeah,
of course.
Hey, it's Brett Druck. I'm not Jarret Bernstein.
I like the timbre and richness of your voice, but I would say it's just a smidge louder than Jarret right now.
You don't have to sugarcoat the sound check, Rob.
Brett, the silvery, velvety, dulcet tones of your voice are a little louder than Jarret's. Screeching, mewing.
Thank you. Thank you for considering my fragile ego.
While I feel as though your voice is Mel Torme making love to Frank Sinatra, it might be best to lose a touch of volume.
And how am I now? Am I still?
Oh, this is perfect. No, I love this. This is great.
And what's perfect about it, Rob?
just that blend of baritone, bass, that cusp. Your control of your range is fantastic.
Like skiing down fresh powder. That's what your voice is.
You see, this is why we record the sound checks. They're always
like a newly lubed Porsche. Hey, Adam!
Adam!
A newly lubed what? I'm sorry?
Porsche. Porsche.
Well, I didn't even book Adam. He just heard newly lubed. Lubed. Here he is in the Zoom.
I'm always showing up uninvited.
You have a fancy mic?
Yeah.
I would definitely love that. Yeah,
let's do fancy mic.
Oh, fancy mic. We got fancy mic.
We love a fancy mic.
Right. Yeah. Just gonna take a sec.
Hello.
Sure, okay, I'll take some time. In the meantime, I can. Is that a snifter you have there?
Well, of course. What do I drink water out of a cup like a farmer?
Leedy, you're gonna hear this isotopes thing. It's
I mean, he's pretty close to set up.
Hello.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
Wow.
How do you like me now?
Yeah, you sound great, Adam. You look great.
Thank you.
And the most important thing is that Rob didn't get to tell this thing he wants to tell.
Oh, I'm going to tell it.
I know you are.
That's the beauty of it. But I'm just glad that Adam
Rob, like MacGyver, can take whatever he has in front of him and turn it into what he wants to talk about.
Okay, so real quick, I promise this will be quick enough. Leedy Corbin, who is going to be drawing jokes from our episode today, and we're going to see at the end our jokes in some kind of picture form, which is really fun.
Adam, Leedy,
that's
Adam.
fun.
Adam.
Yeah, Adam, this is Leedy. Leedy, this is Adam.
Hi.
And she's just a great delight. She's a great addition to the show. She pops in a lot. She's a frequent guest, and she's always usually present at our live shows as well.
Nice.
She grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where she currently still resides. She just went to an Albuquerque Isotopes baseball game a few days ago. And I asked her if she has any idea or if it was standard material for schools in Albuquerque to teach the origins of that name. She said she doesn't know it. They don't teach it in school. Unbelievable to me. So just so you're aware, ladies, you can tell all your friends. If you've ever watched the show The Simpsons, I'm sure you've heard of it. Okay, good. Homer works for the nuclear power plant in Springfield. The nuclear power plant has a baseball team. They call them the Springfield Isotopes, just because it's based off of the nuclear power plant. So in season 2, he becomes the mascot for this team. He becomes Dancing Homer, and he just dances, and people really like him. 11 years later, there is an episode called Hungry, Hungry Homer, where Homer becomes aware that Springfield is planning to sell the team and move the team to Albuquerque because they finally have gotten like more popularity. And he's like, they're going to sell the team to Albuquerque. And they tried to silence Homer and make sure that he didn't tell anybody. But he went on a hunger strike until they admitted the truth. And then they like turned him into a gimmick. They're like, Hungry, Hungry Homer. He's on a hunger strike until the Isotopes win the pennant. And he's like, no, that's not why I'm doing this. So he gets all mad. But anyway, he ultimately thwarts them, and they don't move the team to Albuquerque. Years later, still, the minor league team in Albuquerque, the Cannons, I believe, were going to change their name. So a local radio station asked its viewers to help pitch in for what they should change the name of the team to. And an overwhelming majority said the Albuquerque Isotopes, obviously. And the owner of the team said, that sounds like a plan. So the name of that team is a direct reference to The Simpsons.
I never even questioned why The Simpsons are like all over the park either. I was like, that makes sense.
Really
Weirdly enough, neither did the owner. He was just like, that's what the people want. He has no idea.
I find this story fascinating.
That's great.
Whoa.
I had no idea.
You don't usually hear a Marge impression. That's
Yeah.
That's up there with like a Lisa impression. Those
One of
like
the only impressions I can do.
Oi, boy.
Adam, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, our guest is Adam Sank, host of the Adam Sank radio show. It's a daily podcast, I believe.
It is a weekly podcast, in
Weekly
fact.
podcast. And hilarious comic. So delighted that you could join us. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Does Adam sound okay to you guys?
Wow, what is it that you're hearing there?
I'm
Mr.
hearing.
Bernstein?
I was
Like a
thinking
little
it's a little
gurgly
hot
sound?
and little like gurgly background noise.
I have a fan blowing in my face. If I turn it off, I'm going to start to schwitz. Listen, I could turn on the AC. All right. Hang on.
All right.
He's going to bill us.
He just leaves. Never comes back. Oh yeah, sure. 1 sec. just goes to Chipotle.
I thought it was that thing where there were going to be all these sound effects. Like it took so much effort to turn off his fan and turn on his air conditioner. Like, hold on, just give me a second. Clang, 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 clang.
Sound of someone falling down a flight of stairs.
Come on,
Yeah.
baby.
No, it's a
Okay.
small apartment.
So, are you still hearing that sound, Jarret?
No, it sounds
No,
much better.
it sounds great.
Great.
Volumes sound good to me.
Is there anything else I need to do for you, Jarret?
Oh, actually
Well,
sounds a little
now
hot.
you sound a little
Yeah, a
loud.
little hot,
actually.
a little
God's
hot.
sake.
Sorry, you got to take it down.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did that though.
Your
Now
normal
we go.
levels are your normal levels are good. Your righteous
Right.
indignation is peaking a little.
I will try to stay calm and placid and use only my dulcet tones going forward.
That's great.
Ooh.
It's so good to see you, Adam. I feel like there was an open mic that I used to do regularly, and I used to see you there all the time. It was like a weekly Adam check-in. Do you remember this?
So I never did open mics, but I think
And I just made that up. I just completely made that up. Then I completely made that up.
Found them to be a complete waste of time. But I think
Agreed.
you may be thinking of the Laughing Devil, Steve Hofstadter's
Yes.
erstwhile club in
Yes.
Long Island City. I had a weekly. He gave me like the weekly audition show. I was the host and producer of that show.
Yeah.
And I think that is how we met, because I think we passed you. I think you won one of the Laughing Devil, the weekly contests that we had to see like who would become a club regular.
Oh, I didn't win, but I did do really well. And afterwards, Steve was like, "Oh, I heard that you had this like the best joke. It was the it was the baby being born in reverse joke." And then he was like, "Yeah, that sounds killer. I don't understand why you didn't, like advance or something like that."
Yeah. So I did that for a couple of years actually, and then the club closed.
Yes, that is true.
Generally what happens in my career.
Anything? We usually do a little check-in, catch up. Anything on your mind, Adam? Anything going on this week that you want to talk about?
It's like the same old. Our democracy is dying. People are dying from a disease against which they could easily be vaccinated. It's like the same shit every day. Just read my Twitter. It's all the same.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is our
Angst.
first time having you on. And we started during the pandemic, so we could use that as a weekly catch up for the entire pandemic.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I said same old. There's not a lot to. No, and then I promote my podcast whenever I can. That's kind of it. That's all I got.
Where are you coming from, Adam?
Manhattan, West 47th.
Hey, all right. I'll be down there a little later today.
Excellent.
I'm so glad that your dog could make a cameo also.
Did you see her? She just stood up to shake for a moment before she went back to sleep. I'm actually, tonight's an exciting night for me because I've been seeing this guy for about a month. And tonight is the first time.
A guy?
Yeah.
What kind of podcast is this?
I've decided to make this podcast my coming out platform.
Leedy, you got to draw this. I mean, if you can.
I know it's a shock, but I am in fact a homosexual.
Can you guys give me a second? I just got to tell my sister to go home. I was going to try to set you guys up. No.
I mean, it's not out of the question.
We just used up our straight white guy slot on a gay guy.
But yeah, so tonight I'm seeing his apartment for the first time. I'm going to Brooklyn and spending the night.
Very exciting.
Oh, cool.
It's a big step.
How long have you guys been seeing each other?
We met, this is so cliche, we met on the Friday night of Gay Pride, which was just about a month ago at the sleaziest gay bar in New York City, the Eagle.
Does that mean it was like the end of the night?
It was actually, funny story, it was actually the beginning of the night.
Oh, you started the sleazy bar. Okay.
And the Eagle is one of those places where like you can just basically have sex anywhere if you'd like. And we met and we were fooling around within seconds. This is what's fun about being gay. And
it sounds amazing.
I said to him, I know this, and not that unusual. I said to him, I know this sounds crazy, but would you like to leave with me right now? Ooh. And he was like, totally.
Nice.
And he came home with me and we spent the whole night together. And we've basically been we've had like 4 of those sleepovers ever since, but they've all been at my place. So I'm going to actually venture out to the Brooklyn, the land of my ancestors, and see what's doing.
That's awesome. That. Are you nervous that like something's not going to add up? Like there's a reason he came over to your place every time?
Yeah, I'm thinking there's probably like a boyfriend in the apartment that I don't know about, or a girlfriend. I mean, it is Brooklyn.
No.
Yeah. I was thinking he's a hoarder, but if you were thinking boyfriend or girlfriend, it seems like he wouldn't invite you over then. If that was the case, right?
Frankly, being a hoarder to me would be worse than having another boyfriend. Like I'd be fine for someone to take the take the pressure off me once in a while, but I'm not going to sleep in a messy apartment.
What if he's hoarding boyfriends?
I mean, it could be fun.
Adam, you made me think of a silly thing where, because you said you met him on Friday on Pride, and I was going to ask if you were also on Grindr, and I had this funny thought in my mind of like what Grindr might look like on Friday night during Pride if you were to actually like swipe onto it, and I just had this moment of like, oh.
it's kind of that thing. It's kind of that thing where if it's a big night out, then the only people who are going to be on Grindr are like losers.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, you're like, look around.
Why I can just swipe on people. I can literally touch them and swipe on them.
I made out with that dude without even saying hi to him.
Because if you're even moderately attractive, you can get laid on Pride. So you shouldn't have to be on Grindr. Grindr's for like, a Tuesday at 2 a.m. when you've done a little too much crystal meth and you just need like a little quickie. I'm not speaking from experience, of course.
No.
I kind of feel like every holiday is you sort of want to be coupled up for it already, because if you're not, then it's a little bit lame. But I can imagine that Pride is different. Like you want to be single during Pride. Is that accurate? Does it depend on who you are?
Again, it's different for the gay guys because having a boyfriend does not preclude you from having a wild, sexy time on a holiday. Like you can go out with your boyfriend and still wind up in bed with like 5 other guys by the end of the night. So I see what you're getting at, but no, all things considered, I would rather be coupled up for all holidays just because it's more fun to walk in with someone and leave with that person than to like walk in by yourself and be like, hello, will someone pay attention to me? I mean, I'm generally with a group of friends anyway, but yeah, it's having a boyfriend is like security.
We may edit this part out, Adam, because we don't like perpetuating stereotypes about gay people and promiscuity. So,
And honestly, Adam, you should know better.
I am a walking gay stereotype. Sorry.
Wow, that's problematic. That's really problematic.
My stereotype of gay men is that they always walk into a bar and go, hello, will anybody pay attention to me? So that people told me that's not true, but now I have proof. So
it's actually more like a lesbian bar, to be honest. But the lesbians are sort of downers. But no, listen,
more like downers.
But I haven't dated anyone seriously in a decade, so I'm actually kind of excited, even that I met someone that I would want to date, regardless of where it goes.
Well, congratulations! That's awesome.
Well done, man.
My dad just got out of open heart surgery, which was unexpected, but was successful.
Did they finish?
Yeah, they finished.
Is it closed?
Yeah, it is closed. Yeah. They were going to do a triple bypass, but then one of his arteries is too small, so they did a double bypass. Really cool surgery. They just like take spare parts from you, and instead of like normally you try to unblock an artery, but if it's too blocked, then they just reroute the blood flow using these arteries as like spare pipes. So cool. Really, really cool.
Where do they get the spare parts from?
From you, like different places that you have arteries.
Did they ever used to get them from pigs? I feel like they used to get them from pigs.
I don't know the history on that.
No, you're thinking of the valves. There was a guy who got a heart transplant from a valve transplant from a pig, and he wound up dying.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Swine flu.
My dad's alive, so that's cool. But I had a fun, weird moment when I was checking in, where I was like, "Hey, I'm Brett Druck. I'm here to see my father, Michael Druck." And they were like, "What's the name?" And I was like, "Michael Druck." And they were like, and I was like, I'm his son. And they were like, "And what's your relationship to him?" And I was like, "He's my father." And then they were like, "Okay." And I was like, "Was that a test?"
This is like that riddle, It's like, he's my father. It's like, ooh, but your father's in surgery right now, so okay, let's figure this out.
She's my sister. She's my daughter. She's my sister. She's my daughter.
I'm so glad your dad's
glad he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, me too. He's in the ICU right now, waiting on a normal bed. But it went well, and he's just recovering, and it's just nice. It was very, very nerve wracking.
Yeah,
of course. What's his ETA for coming home?
We don't know yet. Hopefully it'll be soon. The surgeon was like, the surgery went super, super well. So hopefully it'll be within like the next couple days, and then it's like a 4-week road recovery. What was really interesting is I watched a video to learn about the triple bypass, and the doctor that was explaining it at the end of it was like, my favorite part is that is the people who don't necessarily realize how much the blocked artery was affecting them, And not only do they return to the normal and not have a heart attack that they were before the surgery, but they actually start to improve beyond that.
They feel like they have superpowers.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
So it'll be really interesting for my dad, who's always kind of like feeling like, I messed up. I fell asleep. I did, that'd be just to regain some of that autonomy, and it should be cool.
That's so great. You just made me think of, I love the idea of a really boastful doctor, because doctors usually come out and say, the surgery was a complete success. You should have seen me in there. I mean, I turned to the nurse, right? She's like, oh, there's no way. This is so blocked. And I was like, oh, you wait and see what I'm going to do. And then, I just got in there. I love that. They're just like, it was a good, complete success.
The team is behind him like, oh, man, MVP.
Beforehand, it looked like traffic in downtown Los Angeles. Now I got them lined up like rockets.
They gives you the play-by-play. So we were thinking of doing the triple bypass, right? But then actually, one of these. I'm looking at one of these. I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. So then what do I do? Yeah, what do I do? So Greg's like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a double bypass. All right. You're gonna forget about that.
We go in there, we're trying to do a triple bypass. We see one of the valves is too small. Everyone else in the operating room is like, well, I guess this guy's dead, right?
Not on my watch.
So I rolled up my sleeves, which you're not supposed to do because it's not sanitary.
And how about you, Jarret?
Okay.
On your mind?
Yes.
Any open bypasses?
Lots of things. So Kirsten, her family was in town for the weekend with they were going to come in town to visit, but the real purpose, the express purpose, was they've never met my family. And when I say my family, I mean my mom, my sister. My dad passed away a couple years ago. And here's the thing. I was so excited about this. It's okay. My mom, and Brett knows this because he's met her, is so funny and so charming that I'm sure Kirsten's family likes me a whole lot, but I wanted them to meet her so badly because it would have been like I was friends with Tom Cruise. Just it reflects so well on me to have someone so charming and so funny be my mom, and she loves me. I was like, I'm gonna have so much more cred in my what do you call it, in my in-laws family after they meet my mom.
It could have worked the other way, though. They could have been like, wow, the mom is awesome.
Why didn't she he didn't inherit any of that.
The apple really fell very far.
Like
he must take after his father.
The apple.
Get away from me, apple.
Like, you don't want a mom who's like so charming that they'd rather hang out with her.
Yeah, no, I mean they would, like she's that great, but at the same time, I think, as opposed to being like, why is such a downer? Like maybe they see like where my energy is coming from, like, oh, I got this vibe.
This explains everything.
And Berenstein vibe. Yeah, exactly. So we had a lot of fun. We walked all over town together. We had this great lunch with my family and her family where we all had a blast. We looked at a couple of wedding venues in the city. We're at that stage of the planning. And then, we just had like a nice week where we didn't do anything. And now Kirsten and I are both feeling a little under the weather. We think we have cold. I took a COVID test. It came back negative. But we were worried because we were with our families and my mom is super old and, out and about eating at restaurants and stuff like that. So it could have been, but COVID test negative. So we should be good.
Pretty intense strep going around.
Oh, maybe it's strep. That would be great.
Well, the good thing about strep is that it goes away really quickly once you get antibiotics. The bad thing is that it very rarely goes away without antibiotics.
Well, shit. Okay, well, I got to go back to the doctor then.
You would know if you had strep. You'd have a fever. You'd have giant, like, pus things in your throat. Like, strep is bad.
Okay, I'll Google the symptoms later.
That's like day 3. There's an incubation period.
I can't wait to look it up to find out if I have it. And so completely stress out about it. I don't want to go back to the doctor, but thankfully I've got my 100th visit punched on my card, so basically free.
So the next one's more expensive.
They charge you more when you finish your punch card.
That's basically how insurance companies work.
It's the worst customer loyalty program.
They're like, do you have a rewards card? You're like, no.
Wait a minute. I know that fucking face.
It's my first time. I've never been to a doctor before today.
So how does this work? Do I tell you what I'm feeling, or do you like do an X-ray or something? I'm complete novice. I'm in your hands, guys.
I just was fighting with not with my insurance company, but with my mail order pharmacy, because I have this prescription testosterone gel that I have to rub on my shoulders every morning, or I start becoming a woman.
Oh,
because I have low testosterone, not because I'm trans. That's a whole separate issue. But I ran out of it and I needed a refill. And for some reason, this is a controlled substance. They act like I'm ordering heroin in like gel form. And it took like a month for it to get filled and shipped to me. And I can feel the difference. Like after you've been putting on testosterone every morning for years and then you suddenly stop, you feel like sluggish and weak. And I feel like my chest is sagging. Like I just don't, I'm not.
That's
you hear
how
that,
women
Leedy?
feel, right?
You hear that, Leedy?
Yeah, isn't that how you normally feel?
Just weak and chest saggy.
This
you
chest
know.
is not saggy. You're jealous.
She's way too young to sag. But
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, and the reason I look like this is because of this synthetic testosterone I've been applying to my shoulders for the last 10 years.
Get the fuck out.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm gonna give you the longest held hug next time I see you. Try to get some of that tea. I'm like, oh, Adam, it's so good to see you. I missed you.
Let me get in there. Let's get some
What?
skin on skin action.
Spill the tea.
They give you all these warnings about the testosterone. You're never allowed to get it near like young boys because it will send them into early adolescence and their genitals will grow extra large. And I'm like,
what a shame. What a
why was
terrible
I
thing.
not given this option when I was like 10?
So,
I would've been like-
so I guess that explains it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just taking grooming to a whole nother level where you're just
Talk
like,
about the
hey,
ultimate
kids,
favor you can do.
you want some tea?
No razor blades in this candy. Don't worry. Just testosterone gel.
You have Adam? Do you have like nephews or anything, or like?
I do.
Oh, so that could be a risk. Like they stay with you for a week and they come back as men.
I love Uncle Adam.
Let's
come
watch
back-
SpongeBob.
They come back as porn stars. They're like, I don't know what else to do. I got a 10-inch dick. What am I supposed to do with my life? Fuck. Yeah,
So
it
this
doesn't
kid,
seem like a
he's
bad
like-
side effect to me.
He's like trying to play blocks with me, right? And I'm like, get your fucking dick off my blocks. Right?
So I
What
just
am I,
knock
the-
his blocks over with my giant dick.
The weird thing is, it has no smell to it. It's odorless. But when I first put it on, if I walk outside and I pass a woman, I've had this happen a number of times. Women are like, "Oh my god, you smell so good. What are you wearing?"
Whoa.
Oh, interesting.
That is
Wow.
crazy.
I know.
This sounds like a great drug.
I know.
You used to get a big dick and women notice you?
No, you
Oh,
only get the big dick if you start taking it as a child. I waited far too long. But you guys should go to your doctor, have your testosterone checked. If it's below normal, boom, you're a candidate for testosterone therapy.
3 months later,
Interesting.
I could be a man.
Well, why do you rub it on your shoulder?
Well, it like gets absorbed by your skin, and I guess for some reason your shoulders and arms are like the most absorbable place. I'm not sure. If it were up to me, I would like put it other places. But this is what's recommended, so I do I do as I'm told.
You know, maybe I am low T. I'm very kind. I've never thought about beating a woman like once. I don't
think
know.
That's toxic masculinity. That's a different T. That's a different T.
I was gonna say, no, that's just called you're not an asshole. Congratulations.
Good.
It really is about like your energy levels more than anything else.
All right, sure. That makes sense. Did you hear about the woman who, is being precluded from racing in her specific Olympic event because her T is too high?
Yes.
That they're just saying, "Oh, you're not a woman by our Olympic standards," and she
Right.
was specifically targeted because she crushed it in the 2016 Olympics.
Is this isn't the trans weightlifter?
This is not the trans weight. This is the 1600 meter runner. And
I mean, if she was doing both and killing it, I would be like, all right, maybe we should there's something's going on.
Both at the same time.
She's a woman. She just has naturally high testosterone. She crushed that event, and then they decided for this event and this event alone, between 1,000 and 2,000 meters, something that specific for running, that is like, nah, we're gonna have maximum T levels. Beyond that, you can't compete. So absurd. You should look into it more. It's so blatantly targeting her specifically, first, second, and third. Everybody on the podium that year, who are all black, by the way, if you want to include this to be a racial issue, which I don't deny, because the white women fourth and on were just like, this is ridiculous, and they like actively and vocally complained.
Oh, I see.
And then the Olympic board agreed and said, okay, for this event, yeah, anything above this level. So everyone on the podium, first, second, and third, gold, silver, bronze, cannot compete in that event because of their natural testosterone levels this year round.
That is a scandal.
Yeah, it is a ridiculous scandal. And
the sad thing is, those women have higher testosterone levels than I do. Even with my
like
gel.
Adam, you can compete if you want.
Totally. I have no doubt.
Oh, they were allowed to take hormone blockers to compete. That was allowed.
Whoa.
And they obviously all said, no, that's fucking crazy. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, because once you do that, you don't know what's going to happen to your body.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck with your natural hormone levels unless you really have some kind of deleterious effect from your natural state.
Adam,
deleterious. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to fit in well with Jarret and Rob.
I like how your vocab is so bad, Brett, you forgot Rob's name.
Whoa, you do good with the words.
You know what the pause was? The pause was I almost said uppity Rob, and then I was like, but I didn't insult Jarret in any way, so I can't just do that to Rob. Snobby Jarret and uppity Rob.
That's funny.
The dictionary boys, they call them.
Leedyz, do you have anything to share with us? Anything on your mind?
Well, yeah. Opening night for the opera that I'm working on is soon, but I'm more excited about the fact that I just tried to Google Rob for a photo reference for a drawing I'm making right now, but I didn't put comedian at the end, which was very fun because I didn't know about this guy.
Yeah, Rob Ryan, the coach.
He's so majestic, and I've just been wanting to draw him now. Look at this.
He's so funny looking.
He's
I love
great.
him.
He looks like Poseidon.
He does
Liddy, you have great eyebrows.
Thank you.
You do them yourself?
I don't do anything to them, actually.
Wow, they're perfect.
Naturally,
It must be your low testosterone.
It must be my low T. Thank you.
Drag queens will be very jealous.
Yeah, or your high E and P, I guess.
What?
Your hormones for women.
Thank you.
Is P a hormone?
Yeah, what's
Isn't
I
it
don't-
pituitary?
Estrogen. Yeah, what's P?
P is not estrogen. I'm not the smart guy on the podcast, but I know that P is not estrogen. It's E.
E is estrogen, but what is P?
Yeah, Rob said E and P.
Yeah, I did.
Now he's Googling.
Progesterone? Is that what you're thinking of?
I was thinking of progesterone, but I don't know if I'm right.
But progesterone just gives you estrogen, right?
I thought it was separate.
Thank you for listening to the Hormone Podcast.
Oh my god.
What about
next? We'll be discussing.
I thought women had estrogen and progesterone. I thought those are the two main hormones that they have.
They also have they have high or low S.
They have testosterone too. Clearly,
they have testosterone as well. Yeah.
Oh, and I think we have a little bit of estrogen. I know I have a lot, particularly from the waist down.
Is nobody going to ask me what low S is?
What is low S?
Low schmesterone.
Oh my god.
That's what progesterone sounds like to me. Is a made-up word.
Progesterone.
You know, this happens to me a lot. I throw things out there. I feel like I get made fun of. I'm ultimately right, and I'm just kind of like chilling. I'm just like whatever. But leading up to that point, I just get ripped, and then
whatever, spam witch.
And then the precise moment that I'm proven correct, it's just like, why are we still talking about this?
Yeah, Rob, who cares?
I think you should go on Jeopardy because then we would know from the get-go that you were right or wrong.
I contest that you were proved right, and I still made fun of you.
Yeah.
I kept going with it.
You're like, no, it's still stupid.
Yeah, Rob, we don't care if you're right or wrong. It's the fact that you said it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying progesterone, as a dumb person who has never heard that word before, sounds made up to me.
So like Jarret says, but doesn't progesterone just make estrogen? I'm like, but if you knew that, then why did you question P to begin with? Why did you go through the whole thing?
I forgot that progesterone was a word. And so when you said P, I was like, oh, what is P? And he said progesterone. And I was like, oh, isn't that the drug that they give to women when they have low estrogen? But again, I preface everything where I'm like, oh, I could be wrong. I could be misremembering this. I don't know. I have no idea.
I cannot wait to tour with you guys.
Except spam witch.
I find if I say something with confidence, people think it's true.
Oh yeah,
I like that. Like deleterious. That's not a word, Brett.
Just made it up.
You made it up, and you brought it. It's so funny.
I'm an idiot.
Look at your dumb face, Brett. You thought that was a word.
Just
That's
pulled
amazing.
it out of my ass.
Someone get Brett a coloring book.
All right. I think we can get to it.
Let's get
Isn't
to it.
No, wait. Leedyz was going to tell us something about.
Oh, she was going to tell us something about the opera. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's get to the episode. No.
I feel like as a gay man, I should be curious about the opera, but I'm really not. So let's
That's
just move
fine.
on.
Fair enough. Leedyz in a really cool opera. It's prestigious. It's the Santa Fe Opera House.
Wow.
And it's opening. Probably it'll be open by the time this episode comes out.
Are you a performer, Liddy?
I am, yeah. I sing and dance in this, but I'm not usually a dancer. But it's me and a bunch of folks who are just off Broadway. One of them was just in the West Side Story movie. One of them just came off Hamilton. The other one was just off like Moulin Rouge. And then I'm over here like, okay.
Amazing.
I can do
And which
this.
opera is it?
It's Midsummer Night's Dream, the Benjamin Britten opera.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Good for you.
It's really fun, and my costume is insane. Do you guys want to see this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see a picture.
I look like a clown.
Wait, all I see is Brett.
Ooh, you look like a British soldier.
You look like a British soldier, but with like clown.
Guard.
You look
With
like
an
a British
Abraham Lincoln
soldier
hat.
who somebody like shoved the hat down on their head so that their face is completely obscured.
It's like Abraham Lincoln dressed as Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, you look like what was those things? The plague doctor.
Oh yeah, with those long snouts.
Mm-hmm.
I look like a plague doctor. Oh, just that's mostly my mask.
Yeah.
That's the kind of mask they had, though. They had these like long ass masks.
Like they even had doctors just for the plague, Rob.
I'm a plague doctor. Thank goodness there's a plague because I've been out of work for the last 100 years. What can I do for you?
I mean, you'll remember from our Liz Mealy episode that level of specialization is not, it's not
Far off
weird to
reality.
think that exists. Yeah, exactly.
I called the plague doctor, and this is what
That's
he
what
said.
he said. He said, wear a mask and get vaccinated, you psychopaths.
All right, let's get to this episode. Jared,
Let's get to this episode.
did you come up with an order? Did you talk to Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Yeah, I did. You know what she fucking told me?
What did she
what
tell
did
you,
she
Jarret?
fucking tell you?
She said your guest's name begins with A. Use the fucking jarb machine, you asshole.
Yeah.
Oh.
that's
She was already so far in the bag by the time. She always is.
Adam, you're making
Yeah.
the correct confused face because we've not informed you as to what we're talking about.
Okay.
Our randomly generated order that we had a machine when we had 4 regular cast members here, and one of them had the first name A. So we had Jarb. It was called the Jarb machine. Since we have recast, we now have the RJB machine, which is the Ruth Bader Ginsburg machine.
Okay.
Which is drunk Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But we can go back to the Jarbinator now that we have you, Adam, because you're a nice A for us.
Thank you. I do have a nice A. I'll show it to you at the end of the podcast.
That was a guy.
I say it in Brooklyn tonight.
That's a good hook for a podcast. At the end of the episode, our guest always shows you their asshole.
You think I'm kidding? When I did Aaron Berg and Gino Bisconti's stupid right-wing podcast, I did show them my ass at the end.
Hey,
So
wow.
it's not out of the question.
You should start a podcast called Fucking A. And it's just at the end of each
Gay
episode.
porn. That would be popular.
I wanted to say this earlier, but I forgot. So you told this story about meeting this guy at Pride.
Yes.
Made out with him within seconds.
More
And
than
then-
make out, but yes.
More than made out with this guy in seconds. And then you said something to the effect of, I know this sounds crazy, but do you want to leave with me right now, right?
Yes.
I think it's funny that you felt like you needed to preface that with, I know this sounds crazy. Like, you guys are making out. You're going crazy in seconds.
Sucking each other's dicks.
The weird thing would be if you didn't go home with him right
No.
then.
Here's what's crazy. It's because of where we were and because it was so early in the night. The idea that you would go home with the very first person whose penis you played with
Funny.
On
be
Pride.
it would be
Right.
like going to a baseball game. This is going to be a terrible analogy because I don't understand any sports. It would be like going to a baseball game and leaving.
With the first guy that you touched penises with.
Exactly. Like in the first inning.
Before you had a chance to see all more penises.
Right. Exactly.
I think we need to explain RBJ and the jar machine to guests before they come on, because I feel like we've had 4 episodes where we've had to get into the mythos of how we pick the order.
We can also just edit that part out.
Mythos. Now that's a word I don't know.
I've always heard mythos, but I
I've
don't know
heard
if it
mythos.
matters.
I was willing to give him the latitude.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring
I
it
lost
up.
confidence.
Mythos is the gland
confidence.
that creates mythos.
I lost confidence.
Mythos is like another word for the mythology, the backstory.
Exactly.
I love that.
I lost confidence in Jarret using that word when he went,
All right, so I will turn on the jar machine. Ba-da-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-do-boo, boo,
wow.
ba-da-ba-ba-da-bow.
Oh, you turned on Adam's air conditioning.
Our order today is Rob, Brett, Aaron, Jarret.
All right.
Adam Jarret, sorry.
All right. Well, this is great. First up. So I've got this. I wrote this just the other day. Have you heard that rumbling?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry
It
about
was
that.
my air
not little
conditioning.
at all.
Oh, you sound, Rob, you sound so hungry.
Got a little grumbly in my tummy.
It was very loud, and you were like, "Did you guys? Did you hear that little tiny thing?" It was like,
I think we should make motorcycles that are that loud illegal. Like, there's no value to them. They're so fucking annoying. All right,
Yeah.
that's it. There's no joke there.
No,
Yeah,
I hear you.
I'm with you.
Okay. So this one's about social media. I find social media is fascinating in that it has made normal, otherwise good, upstanding people feel inadequate, feel wrong in everything that they do, feel out of place in the world. And at the same time, they have made pedophiles feel like they have community. If you're a decent, normal person, you're just like, oh no, everything's going wrong. But neo-Nazis are like, friends. I have found friends. That's the concept. That's all I got.
I like it a lot. I feel like if you flip it and you go friends first, then you have, and good, decent people are like, there are all these Nazis and pedophiles. And that's what's making them feel inadequate. Like everybody's a Nazi or a pedophile or a jihadist or something like that.
It's made the world safe for monsters.
Yeah. It's just like, because both those things are true, but I don't think I've heard people like smash them together in the same thought. Because what is fascinating is, you have like these dregs of society or like people coming out of the woodwork because they're pedophiles, because they're neo-Nazi, because they have these, terrible habits or thoughts or beliefs, and then they find others who think like them. And yet your average person seems to complain about the fact that like when they are looking at other people getting married or doing things or having a better job than them or whatever, they just feel so terribly lonely and inadequate. So it's like, how are we? This is the wrong thing. Why is this happening?
I feel like this joke is begging for you to do a white supremacist who feels inadequate because of the other white supremacists he sees on Instagram. We're just like, look at how many crosses he's burned today. God, why am I even bothering? I'm so far behind.
His Trump flag is so much bigger than mine.
Look at how white his sheets are.
I told
That's
you to
funny.
stay off that. Stay off the social media.
Hey, you want to go yell at some minorities with me this weekend? No, I just suck at it.
There are so many Jews outside right now. Just yell at them.
Well, maybe you should tell this guy to do something about it because he's great at it.
Look, he's got an eagle in the background. He's so cool.
That is a great note, Jarret. If we're to go back a little bit more to your original premise, Rob, what if it's everybody's like the internet connects people, but like what about people who didn't have trouble connecting before the internet?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's
Because it
kind of
really
the heart
connects
of
a lot of people who had trouble connecting, and maybe it was good that they couldn't connect.
Yeah, there's a reason that they were all at the ends of of these tendrils.
Well, it's created connections among people who really we don't want there to be. We don't want them to find others. Like we don't need bronies in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Bronies wouldn't exist without social media.
What is a brony?
These are men who are sexually attracted to the cartoon ponies in My Little Pony.
Oh, there's a name for that.
And they have conventions that are huge.
I have a tiny nit to pick. I do not believe that it is sexual in nature.
Oh, I was going to say,
it's very sexual.
I thought it was. I met a brony, and he was telling me that his fandom was like, it had nothing to do with the sexual nature of it. He just loved, him and his online friends just loved the show so much because they grew up watching it.
So they all say that?
Well, no, that's
Really?
I only got to pick his brain.
They're all jerking off to cartoon ponies. Howard Stern talks about this a lot, and they've visited the conventions and interviewed these guys, and each one of them's like, "Well, I'm not into that, but all these other guys are. It's terrible." That's all they talk about is fapping. They call it fapping, which is jerking off, I guess. Yeah, and it's vaguely pedophilic.
That's the sound it makes when you masturbate.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah, fap.
I don't think my dick is big enough to make a sound. I have silent masturbation.
Tick, 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 tick. You're like, what's going on in there? Tick, 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 tick.
Well,
I wish it would fap.
Mine
but then
doesn't.
all the children Adam hugs are like, womp, womp.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh man, I was just booming to some My Little Ponies.
Flomp, flomp.
Well, I'm newly lubed, so mine sounds like rubbing two silk sheets together.
Yeah, it does make more sound without lube, I guess.
So to get back to the point of the...
Let's all try it now.
Everybody
Liddy,
lower
you
your
draw this?
microphones.
Yeah. I don't know if I could go again.
But bronies is a very interesting, fun. It is a very funny community to bring into that.
Yeah, Jarret, you made me think. Like, it's funny to think of people having FOMO on January 6th. Just like looking through Instagram, like, why wasn't I? I just had to get a bus ticket and I didn't get the. They're having so much fun. Oh, someone got shot.
He's just sitting at home with his zip ties in his hand, just like. I had them, and I didn't go.
Unbelievable. This is the Woodstock of my generation.
Oh, God, that's funny. That's really funny. But I also want to do the inverse where it's like, I don't know if there's something funny in it, but we see the relationship that these fringe groups have where they find each other and they support each other and they make all this toxic stuff happen. And is there a not that also happens? Does that make sense? Like, is there a
just, like,
regular
pottery?
people who reach across and find each other and don't become toxic, or do? Like, maybe there's a random sect of potteriness that makes you toxic. I don't know.
Maybe there's something in that, social media is one of those, like any other addiction. It starts out and it's just fun. And then by the end of it, like you just like your teeth are falling out. You've lost your job. Like it, everything about it just ruins your life and makes you miserable, but you can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
I guess that's not really funny as it is.
It's just too real.
It's a sad real.
Can we see the world? I don't know if there's something funny here, but can we see the world where these people don't have the internet to connect? Like, what happens to them? Because in my brain, it's sort of like the way that certain diseases, if they don't have a large enough population to affect, they go away forever.
Yeah.
They just kind of disappear and go extinct.
Yeah.
But the internet sort of creates these bigger, pools, like a Jimmy Buffett concert.
Well, that's exactly
COVID.
Right, because these are viral thoughts. These are viral ideologies. The idea that, the earth is flat. Like it used to be that anyone who thought that was like completely insane. Now there's like a sizable percentage of the population who really thinks the earth is flat because they saw some YouTube video. So that is a virus. That is a mental virus that has infected us.
Saying like, my friend Jim, he caught flat earth. A flat earther.
Oh my God. How serious is it? Pretty serious.
Yeah.
It's, it started off with the dome, and then I mentioned Antarctica, and he said that's just, that's just a paneling on the edge of the world. You're like, oh, okay, all right.
There are way too many flat earthers. They say
aluminum
that like
siding.
They say that like 80% of the top half of the world is flat earthers, and that, never mind. Cut that out.
Yeah, I would say, Jarret, to answer your question, like those people would normally be shunned. And so what's really interesting and what you're making me think of is that I'm kind of in this thing of like, yeah, should Twitter be like just banning, all of these groups just because of their ideologies? And it's like, yeah, because that's what we would do in real life, is we would be like, hey, you two can't sit together.
You two are too weird. I don't think we would meet out the virus completely, because these ideologies pop up in let's say 0.1% of the population always. So every generation's always going to have some nominal amount of people who think blank or who are that. Whether they ever get to group together, that's a whole different story. The fact that they do get together and proliferate and then teach their kids that as well, maybe even against their will, then that becomes a big problem. But it is funny because we do put problem children together, right? If two kids are acting up, we do put them in the same detention, and then they get to hang out. It's kind of like the usual suspects, we put people. So in a way, we kind of do lump like-minded people together at some point.
Yeah, it's almost like you don't want the people with these fringe beliefs to be by themselves, because we have enough empathy where we're like, people shouldn't be alone, but we don't want them to have more than one or two friends. Because if it's if there's 3 of them, then it's you guys go, have a little flat earth convention, talk about how the moon landing isn't real. The rest of us will just go on with our lives. So they're like, oh, hey, we found 100,000 more of us. You're like, oh,
yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't necessarily we want them, they could be together. They just have to be alone together.
I think what the
we
internet
don't want them interacting with us.
I think what the internet has taught us is that, since the founding of America, we had this ideal of a free exchange of ideas. There was nothing healthier or better for America than a free exchange of ideas. It turns out, no, that's the worst possible thing for America. We do need gatekeepers to be like, that idea is stupid, and we're going to shut it down, and we're not going to let anyone hear about it because it's just so fucking stupid. We needed that all along, and we had it until the internet. And now it's just free exchange of ideas by morons and lunatics. And those ideas become just as valid as correct ideas.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's I don't think that anybody wants there to be some government position that mandates what thoughts are okay and what thoughts are not okay.
I do. I literally, I think there should be a department of information that is just this is factual and this is not. And anyone who has a question can check the Department of Information and make it bipartisan, appoint Oprah Winfrey to it. Someone that everyone trusts and believes in. Everyone. And just have that be the new Snopes when there's an argument as to what's true and what's not.
I stand corrected.
There would be a lot of problems with government transparency, where it's the government, if this department has to tell you what's true or not, they would have to reveal all the shitty things our government does. And so it'd be the government says, don't trust it.
Yeah, well, certain things would be classified.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was just thinking, instead of the government, maybe we just elect one really cool person to treat the internet like a nightclub and just be no, not you.
We need a bouncer for the internet.
Well, it probably gets into dystopian realities, but I do think that there should be more aptitude tests that kind of guide people, like they kind of did in Starship Troopers, where they were like, you're a grunt because you scored low, and you're going to be military intelligence because you had really high IQ.
Because you were Doogie Howser.
How about an aptitude test before you can join social media to prove that you're not a fucking moron?
Yeah.
And if you are, it's I'm sorry, you can be on moron.com, but we're not going to let you be on Twitter or Facebook. You're just too stupid.
What if it was a dumb person Twitter that's completely generated? It's not you don't connect to real people. It's just
it's a video game.
It's just I can't log on to Twitter. It's really? I'm having no problem whatsoever. You've got that Twitter. Okay.
A simple questionnaire: is the Earth round? Did Donald Trump lose the election in 2020? Just 50 questions to determine how reasonable you are. And if you're not, I'm sorry, you're going to, we have this wonderful site. It's called Assholes, and it's just for assholes like you. And you can meet all your friends. I mean, I guess that wouldn't really solve the problem because there's still more of them than there are of us.
No, Jarret says the only solution is that they don't realize that they're not talking to other people.
Joke-wise, these are very funny. Real life wise, I despise all of these.
Yeah, there's some real holes in this policy discussion that we're having. But...
Like, we'll just have somebody decide what information is real. I don't think. No.
I really am in favor of this. I mean, we used to have that. It was called the New York Times, the Washington Post. Like, people trusted these sources because they had a track record of telling the truth and being correct. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm so pro gatekeeper these days.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that journalism, and especially broadcast journalism, betrayed that trust on its own, and then it was that betrayal was
not all of them
and taken advantage. Not all of them, but enough that to give credence to a lot of the people who they gave credence to Trump exploiting that and making them see everything they do seem false, and that there's been a lack of journalistic integrity for a long time.
I mean, is there a P tape? You know what I mean? Like
progesterone?
Is there a progesterone? Things like that are just like you're not help. Like I don't know why they're not helping their case by just sensationalizing. Spurious, is that the word?
Spurious.
Spurious.
Yeah, claims that
I don't know.
that there's some.
A spurious correlation is usually when that word is used. But I know what you're saying. And the answer is because if the PP tape does exist, the Russians have it and they're not fucking releasing it. What have they got to gain by making Trump look bad at this point?
Mm-hmm. It's been 4 years and they could have done whatever they wanted. And I mean,
they're still hoping he gets back in office and does more of their bidding. Bidding or biting? I never know.
The love. the leverage. The leverage that they have over him is going to extend to everybody that's worked with him and his family. I have a lot of thoughts about the credibility of the media and how they became toxic, but I feel like we're getting so far away from the. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that might be my time anyway. Thank you guys so much for helping with this.
Rob Ryan. This is the 1984 episode of Is This Anything?
And we are deciding who speaks when. So Jarret, let us know who is going to be speaking next and what they should say.
Next up, we got Brett Truck, and you're going to be talking about what's the right American history.
I just want to clarify. I think aptitude tests to guide people more in what they would have natural inclinations to it, not like a mandated thing.
Yeah, fascism. Yeah, we got you, Brett.
There we go. All right, here we go. So I noticed that the only element that they ever do musicals on is ice, and I would like to see a few other. I mean, it's been a while. Like, let's up the ante.
Yeah,
Let me see The Lion King on lava. I think that the
I didn't even understand the premise at first.
The opening song would be a lot different because they would be like, "No, because they'd be on lava."
I mean, I think the Earth capades would be pretty boring.
Sesame Street on shit. Just a bunch of puppets rolling around in horse manure.
I mean, Cirque du Soleil is kind of like the air capades.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying specifically when they take a musical and they just put it on ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why not other? Let me see it on water.
Well,
why aren't they describing other things about, like, it's on ice? Okay, what is it under? Concrete?
See The Lion King in building.
Yeah.
On gravel.
Next to food.
I mean, how far can you go with this premise? It's like you'd come up with like 5 funny examples and that would be the joke, or would you? Is there more? What else is there?
Jersey Boys in Delaware.
Now that's funny.
Yeah, I like that.
Fuck with the location.
Wicked with French accents.
yeah. Just break the form completely. If we're just gonna alter the musical and add stuff, I want to see Rent on skateboards.
That could actually work.
That could work.
Rent on skateboards.
Those are two on the nose.
I think I read this a while back. He posted something like this, and my comment was, "It sounds like there are some mobsters threatening these musicals." He's like, "Oh, I'd like to see the Jersey Boys on ice."
And some executive was like, "That's a wonderful idea. We'll put them on ice skates."
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
The sound of music on acid. This is really the best way to enjoy the sound of music.
Yeah.
I think School of Rock should swim with the fishes underwater. That's so great. Oh my god.
School of Rock, but with jazz.
School of Jazz.
Make it more sophisticated and swinging. Yeah. School of Jazz. For seniors.
I would love that because then everybody have to pretend like that's cool. You know? All right, now for a face-melting bassoon solo.
What was the Tina Fey music? It was a movie.
Mean
that
Girls?
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Yeah.
Mean Girls on their period. Sorry, that was crass.
Yeah.
That was lowest common denominator stuff.
Isn't that right? Tired, saggy-chested lady.
God damn it.
Get some tea.
Come on, women, get some tea.
Come back when you got tea, lady.
Pick your tits up off the floor and get some tea.
Oh my god! Last time I was on, I was floppy haired. Now I'm saggy chested. What is
Flat
wrong?
hair.
Flat-haired.
Flat-haired Bobby
Oh,
sucker. Flat-haired, saggy chest, low energy. Women are the worst.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Thank you for having me on the white man slot. I'm so
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking more like Mean Girls in wartime or something that didn't fit quite as much with it.
On the town in the suburbs. It's kind of old school. I don't know if you guys are familiar with On the Town. But
I've never
it's
seen
like
it. I've
the
heard of it.
quintessential New York City musical. New York, a hell of a
Wonderful
town.
The Bronx is up and the battery.
So if it were in the
Downtown.
suburbs, it
Love
would be
On the
like there'd be no story whatsoever.
Yeah, it's all about these sailors who go to New York to sightsee. It should be like, it's
They wind up in Livingston, New Jersey, just like walking past a lot of like nicely cut grass,
I think
singing about.
that's Aaron's house and a Walmart.
I like the idea of you just putting musicals that would be funny on ice, just as part of this as well.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Like I think it's fun to see cats
that's
on ice.
a nice first
like real
first
cats.
step, and then I can go to
Yeah.
like, how come they don't do these on ice, and then how come they only do these ones on ice? You know,
How come I've never seen Titanic on ice?
That would be a natural. That would be perfect. Just have an iceberg rising up from the ice and have everyone skate into it.
Is anyone sinking? No one's sinking. This is great.
I want
Have to be a hole in the ice where they all disappear to at the end.
I want to see Spider-Man on ice, but then they never actually like touch the ice. They're just swinging around and stuff.
Well, I was going to say, you know, that musical, because of all the stunts, there were so many injuries and like one guy died. It'd be so funny if they were like, all right, this was a flop. Let's try it on ice. It's like, no! Everyone's in casts. He's like, no, please, no.
Yeah, those are great notes. Thanks, guys.
Woohoo!
You know, we haven't played since we introduced the game was you tell me a musical and I tell you how it's a musical song and I tell you how it goes because I don't know musicals.
It might as well be spring.
It might as well be spring, Brett. How does that one go?
Might as well be spring. If it's summer, I think it's still spring. If it's fall, I think it's still spring. And if it's winter, I think it's still spring because it might as well be spring.
It's not far from the original lyrics. You kind of have the gist.
You know, Adam, I was a big musical fan back in the day. I don't remember this song, but it feels like it might be like Oklahoma or something
Which
like
one?
that.
It might as well be spring.
Yeah.
You have the right composers. It's Rodgers
and Hammerstein. Yes.
and it's from State Fair, which was a movie, and then eventually it became a musical in the 90s. But it was a classic movie musical. It's actually my favorite show tune.
Oh, interesting.
It's lovely. It's a standard. You would know it if you heard it.
Do you know about the musical Carousel?
I do. Yes, I'm familiar with the most famous work of Rodgers and Hammerstein besides Oklahoma.
So this is
idiot.
One of my favorite things. There's some very problematic things in Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals,
especially Carousel.
Carousel, the main character, he hits his wife,
beats her,
and then she dies, and then he dies.
No,
sorry,
she doesn't die. Yeah,
she lives, he dies. He goes to heaven. And in heaven, they're like, you get a wish. And he's like, I want to go see my daughter because I died before she grew up. So then he goes back to Earth and he visits his daughter and then he hits her also. Then he goes back to heaven and the mom runs up to the daughter. The daughter's like holding her face and she's like, what happened? And the girl goes, this guy just hit me. But I didn't really feel it, Mama. Is that weird for someone to hit you and for you not to feel it? And that's how the mom knows that it was the ghost of the dad that hit her, because when someone loves you and they hit you, it doesn't hurt.
She says when someone, the line is even worse. It's something like, when someone you love hits you, it feels like a kiss.
Wow.
Especially if he has low T.
That is, yeah.
He's got those spaghetti arms. No power to them.
Yeah, that is a very problematic musical. And in fact, they just revived that on Broadway a few years ago. And they tinkered with the ending a little bit. They made it a little bit less pro-wife beating.
Mm-hmm. Now it's a pro-wife kicking. So his kicks are instead. I think that line that I knew is because I saw a revival like in the 90s, and so that was the toned down version.
Yeah. Now he just tickles her.
They sell wife beaters at the end of the show though, just like for merch.
Heyo.
Get your wife beater carousel shirts right here.
If you're in love, it feels like a kiss. Oh yeah, that's my favorite fact about musicals. All right, anything else for Rob, guys? Anything else for Brett, guys?
I just want to say,
I think people on social media.
I just want to say, Brett, I admire you for writing a joke about musicals. It's very brave for a straight man to attempt that.
Yeah,
you should hear my Little Mermaid joke.
Oh, I'm titillated.
Oh, it's a good one.
All right, next up, we got Adam Sank. But before we do that, just want to remind everybody to check out the Patreon, patreon.com/ITApod. We got a lot of great content on there. The high writing challenges, the sleepover, the storytelling episode, all the live shows are on there. You can join for $1 a month or as much as there's no ceiling, guys. Join the Patreon.
And we're adding a high T tier where we send you testosterone gel.
Adam will come over to your house and hug you.
I'll rub it in.
I'll rub his shoulders on you.
Have you always wanted a bigger dick? Are you 12 years old? Get on our Patreon.
But you better act quickly. Your window is closing.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a deeper voice and a bigger dick than your dad?
Is this
only.
All right, next up we got Adam Sank.
Woo! So thank you. I'm going to first just qualify this by saying I haven't done stand-up in almost 3 years. And when I did do stand-up, I didn't really do observational humor. So this is probably not a great premise. But I was stoned one night and I started talking to my phone about this idea for a joke that, like, you know, my dog, I love my dog and she's like my constant companion and she adores me. And I love her for it. But if she were a guy, I would basically take out a restraining order against her because she's obsessed with me. She fucking follows me from room to room. If I leave her for a minute, she starts to cry. And like this behavior that I find so adorable and charming in a dog would terrify the shit out of me if it were an actual guy. It would be so deeply codependent and stalkery. And then I started thinking of like, you know, it's so bad that when on the rare occasions when I do have a guy spend the night, sometimes he wakes up in the middle of the night and Leedyz standing over him holding a knife. And like, you know, she's holding it in her mouth. So it's not that threatening. It's more like cute, but it's still fucked up. That's like all I got.
And it's just like one of those like stuffed animal like knives. Like it's just like a little chew toy that
it's a plush knife.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you're actually dating somebody and they get a little clingy and then they realize they're getting clingy, so then they start acting like a dog. They're like, arf, arf.
And that's how they win me over.
Yeah.
I like how the dog needs a weapon, because if we had not bred dogs to be so cute and tame, the dog is the weapon. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. The dog is supposed to be the thing that causes harm to others.
Yeah.
But instead the dog needs like a little cute little gun in its mouth in order to be threatening.
I like the idea that you would go take a guy home with you, you'd make out, you'd have sex, and then he would want to sleep in your bed and you're like, no. The floor. That's right.
Then you get a little spray bottle.
This side of the bed is for lady. You can sleep in the dog bed.
That's right.
That's basically what happens. She does get extremely jealous and possessive anytime I have a guy there. She tries to like wedge her way in between us, and like while I'm having sex, she's often at the foot of the bed glaring at us the whole time. Like, it really is like living with your stalker.
That's really funny.
Are there other things that the dog could do that to try to dissuade guys that you bring home from staying over? Like, could she bring out like straight porn? You know, as if to say, Adam's not gay. This is a trick.
It's like uses her paw to press play on the ancient VCR in the corner, and suddenly like 70s porn comes up.
Like your dog being like Fatal Attraction. I won't be ignored, Adam.
That's exactly it. That's how she is. Is there not? I mean, there could be nothing there.
No, I think there's plenty there.
This is super
funny.
Right? Yeah. I do like, anytime that you treat the dog more human-like and the human more dog-like, to me, there's something very funny to that.
I think if you open up with the structure of somebody overhears you describing your dog and they don't know that you're describing your dog, then all of a sudden the audience can kind of be in on this thing where you're like, they think if the premise is they think if somebody didn't know I was describing my dog, they would think I had a stalker.
Right.
Like if they just overheard me saying, yeah, and then she does this and she does that and she does that, the audience can kind of be in with you. Or if you say that somebody overheard it and they were like, hey, do you need me to call the police or something like that? You know?
This doesn't sound like a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Adam, you should really get out of that.
What more intrusive things does your dog do besides just follow you around? I mean, some of these things seem pretty standard dog behavior. I want to know if there's anything that Lady does that's
like when I start to pack a suitcase, she'll piss on the rug.
There you go. Okay, that's some serious jealous type weird shit that makes you're just like, what is the matter with you? Just breaking shit.
That's the dog equivalent of I'm gonna kill myself.
Like, you know, when I tie her up outside a store, she just like stares through the window the whole time, like, when are you coming out? When are you coming out? When are you coming back out? When are you going to be done with the store? When are you going to be done? I've been here for 2 minutes. You haven't come out yet. It's like that sort of.
Does Lady try to get at you when you're in the bathroom?
Oh, yeah. She doesn't give me a minute alone. When I take a shower, she lies down on the bathroom floor and waits for me to finish the shower. And she's terrified of the shower.
So she couldn't even do anything to help if you were in trouble.
That's right. Anything to be close to me.
I do think it's funny that your dog's name is Lady because, and I don't know if there's a way to format this, but it's almost like the things that you say about Lady make sense because when you call her Lady, it's clear that it's a dog, but they would sound so much weirder if you just said a lady. You know, so it's like a lady pissed on my rug. A lady keeps growling at my boyfriend. A lady won't let guys sleep in bed with me. You know,
a lady lies down on the bathroom floor every time I take a shower.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the other side of that is every time I'm on the street with her and she like tries to go after a rat or like eat a piece of garbage or whatever, I always go, Lady. And there's always some woman walking in front of me who's like, like totally offended because she thinks I'm just like yelling at her for no reason.
That's so funny.
That's great.
That's a real thing.
I wonder if maybe so the truth of it is that you're very independent and you don't like codependence in your relationships.
Correct.
So I wonder if you could use Lady as a way to train people that you're dating, where you're like, I want you to just watch her for a day. Do none of that. Do not follow me into the bathroom. Do not try to get close to me.
Study my dog's behavior and then do the opposite.
Yeah.
No, that's the gist of it. Is what I love in her is what I love most in her is what I hate most in a guy.
Right.
And there's something in there that explains why I'm still single after all these years.
I have 2 ideas. One is you get one of those little cameras that you can keep an eye on Lady when you're at work, but when you're gone, the only thing that Lady does is like lick a picture of you slowly. Some like creepy single white female behavior, you know, just like something like that. And the other idea is somehow your dog starts texting you like nonstop. And I don't know how we do that. Like maybe you leave your computer open one day or something. But yeah, I just want that level of.
She sends me text. I mean, that level of absurdity would be like, I'm at work. She starts texting me. Hello, are you there? Hello? Are you getting these texts? Is your phone working? When are you coming home? I'm hungry. The dog walker hasn't arrived yet.
Someone's at the door. Someone's down the street.
Maybe the only difference between Lady and the guy you're seeing is that Lady can't text.
And can't talk.
Yeah.
Maybe what I really want is someone who's just as needy and codependent but can't speak. That's like my dream man.
There we go.
That's really funny. That's great.
And who I can walk around with on a leash.
Yeah, I think that's great. Especially with that premise, and then you can just talk about how annoying Lady would be if she could text and talk.
I feel like at this point I should show her to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, please.
Lady, come here. Come here.
I'm right here.
There is never.
Lady, shut up.
There's never a wrong time to show us animals.
Yeah.
On the show.
Oh, she's really asleep.
Oh. Hey.
Oh, what a cutie.
So tired.
Goodness.
I'm like, oh, she's so codependent. She's so needy. Meanwhile, she's fast asleep and I'm forcing her onto my lap.
Come here. I want to introduce you to my friends. Oh, wow. She is exhausted. Look at that. Is Leedy getting an animal as well? Does Leedy have animals?
Leedy does have animals.
She has little plush toys that she plays with, but her favorite one is a fake cup of coffee.
Well, we are. There's a miscommunication happening here because
It's very funny.
our artist in residence is Leedy, and we said, "Does Leedy have any animals?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, she's got a stuffed penguin."
Yay! Oh wow!
Even more of a miscommunication is that Leedy does have a stuffed mug that she loves.
Yeah.
Leedy's favorite thing to chew on is a stuffed frappuccino.
I just wanted to bring Suko because she looks like a mini version of your dog.
So
Oh my
cool.
God, she
She's
does.
just like a mini lady.
Oh, Suko.
This is little Suko. Yeah, this is Suko, named after a famous rock climber.
And they both look exhausted.
Not named after Danny Zuko from Greece. Just
Nor
to bring back
Zuko
the whole
from
musical.
Avatar.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gay.
Uh,
My references are completely different.
On dogs.
Hey. Danny Zuko.
All right. Anything else for Adam, everybody?
Yeah, you know,
agree.
grease on ice would be really slippery. It's like, I don't know, anyone's standing up.
Grease on Grease.
That's great.
It's on
Ooh,
fire.
that's a really good tag.
There's a grease fire.
Grease on fire. That's a great tag for the joke, Brett. Something on fire.
I love that.
Do you happen to know the first song that's in Grease?
In the movie or the show?
In the show.
The first song in
Not
Grease
Tell Me
is
More?
probably Summer Lovin'.
Summer Lovin'?
Yeah.
I
So
would
yeah,
guess.
Grease on Ice is Summer Lovin'.
Ow.
Had me a blast.
Put something on that. You know, put some ice on that.
Anything else for Adam, everybody?
No, great joke, Adam.
Thanks,
I love it.
everyone.
I hope we had some helpful ideas for you.
I have one more thing. I have one more idea for you. I love the idea of your dog getting histrionic and just like texting you pictures of like chocolate and just like, oh, is it? What if I just eat this? What if I just eat this whole bar before you come home? And you're just like, stop, come on. What are you? I'm away on business. Don't make me worry about you like that.
Here I am with a box of raisins. Poison for dogs. gonna come home now, you motherfucker. I'm gonna eat these.
No, lady.
I've been eating grapes, skin only. All right. Thanks so much for sharing, Adam. That's a great joke.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
All right. Next up, we got Jarret Berenstein.
Jarret Berenstein.
That's me. Okay.
Jarret Berenstein, good buddy of Jarret Berenstein.
That's right. What is that from? Is that a reference?
No, I just sometimes when you say your own name, it sounds like you are seeing yourself walk into the room. You're like Jarret Berenstein.
Jarret Berenstein.
Jarret Berenstein.
I know we've done
guy.
that before on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it was
I leave a
reference to.
space for someone else to introduce me. No one ever does. So,
That's true.
okay. Here's my bit. My fiance has a little bit of a problem with being jealous, which is hilarious because no women ever try to steal me. They say when you're in a relationship, you're suddenly more attractive to women, but that has not been my experience. When we first started dating, I was like, I thought women were supposed to be starting to hit on me now, and they're not. So then I asked her to move in with me, still nothing. I proposed. She said yes, still nothing. What the hell? What am I supposed to do? Have a kid?
That's great. What a
all I got.
What a solid logical joke there. That's great.
I love it. I do have one note is when you say my fiance has a little. What did you say? A little bit of
A jealousy problem.
a jealousy problem. It sounds very much like she has
a big jealousy problem. I never want to do the me thinks he doth protest too much thing.
Yeah.
So what about like my fiance can be jealous sometimes?
Yeah,
Is
there
that a
you
little bit more? All right,
Yeah.
cool.
I like the idea of you know, because there's a couple of more visual aids. Like you're going out, you're wearing your wedding band. You're just like, it's nothing's going yet. You're pushing around your kid. You're just like, just a dad with a stroller. This is not really just trolling for puss.
Just
There was
randomly telling strangers, I'm really looking forward to Father's Day.
If I go to the flower shop and there's like a cute girl working there, and I'm like, could I get a dozen roses? I, no holiday or anything. I just want to let my fiance know that I care about her. and then nothing.
You're at the hospital. Excuse me, can you tell me which way to the maternity ward? My wife's about to give birth. Really? No, you don't want no follow up, no number, no.
Have I mentioned that I'm a fireman? Nothing? No?
I would love if also you just put a note in there like, by the way, all I want to do is be like, sorry, I'm taken.
Yeah.
That's all you want out of it, but
That's
you just
great.
can't get it.
Does
That's
that
really
break
funny.
the reality? Because I think the thing that's funny about the joke is that, and you, I guess, as the audience, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a slow realization that it seems like the only reason why I'm even in this relationship is to get other girls. Right.
And
And so if I then said at the end, like, all I want to do is say I'm taken, I feel like that punctures the balloon. Am I wrong?
Well, and maybe this is what Brett's thinking. You've already gotten all those laughs, and I would get all those laughs with that thought, and then in order to just give one more little turn everything on its ear, the whole thing is a misdirect, whatever. You could just get one more laugh out of it, and it could also just save your on stage reputation if that's even something that you care about.
And you could also tag it. You could say like, I just want to be able to say to someone, I'm taken, and then fuck her. That's it.
That's really funny.
What if like you do this because you just want the ego boost, but then you're like at the end of it you get your ego starts to like shrivel so much that you're like, thank God she's marrying me. Like your self-esteem just has to go down to the roof that you're like, I'm so happy I'm getting married. Maybe if you started off like you're trying to bang women, but then you slowly reach a point where you're like, I'm so glad she's with me.
So then after I get to that point where I'm like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Have a kid? I mean, Jesus Christ, all the other guys, they get girlfriends and suddenly pussy's being thrown at them left and right. Like, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I ugly? Am I ugly? God damn, I'm glad I'm engaged. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe that progression is funny.
I like the progression of so you go through all the steps. You you get engaged, you get married, you have kids, you live this beautiful, wonderful life together. You're old, you die. She dies in your arms, like Notebook style, and then the nurse comes in. It's like, oh, so cute, and you're like, I am cute. All right.
Finally. It could be like, so I realized this. I realized that none of these women are finding me attractive. And I told my wife this. I go, isn't this weird? And she goes, no, it's not.
That's why I married you.
And she's like, isn't this weird? She's like, I don't know. Maybe you can think about it on the couch tonight.
No, I think she's not even threatened because she's so confident that like no one's gonna want you.
Right.
That's really funny.
You start off the joke by saying that Kirsten has a little bit of a jealousy problem, but that doesn't come back into play. Is there some way that could come back into play where almost like she's right to be jealous because you're trying to do this, you know?
Or as part of the insult to you that she's never jealous no matter what you do. Like she comes home and there's like a naked woman in bed with you and she just like assumes that you're, you know,
painting her for your art gallery. No.
Well, you know, I only included the jealousy part because I thought that it would be a good justification for the rest of the joke. But if I don't need it, I could just, you know, say that I could just start with, they say that when you're in a relationship, you're suddenly more attractive to other women, you know, something like that.
I was just thinking out loud, like you would say, they say when you're in a relationship, other women become attracted to you. And my question is, what other women?
When does that start?
Wait, what other women? What other women? That's funny. I like the idea of because of Kirsten's jealousy problem, she chose you because no other women will choose you.
So that's the ending.
Here's the other idea I'm thinking. Maybe
not that one.
I don't think it's going to work. I think it's too convoluted, but maybe the idea that you start with the fact that she's a little jealous and then I go all through the steps of how women aren't noticing me and they don't hit on me or anything. And then I realize that it's because she's so jealous that she preemptively stops all the women from hitting on me.
Funny.
Like she visits all the businesses. Yeah, just
really
going
funny.
like this.
She's fight clubbing you. She's like always one step ahead every time you go somewhere. That's why no one notices you.
It feels too complicated to sell, but maybe if I just spent a little time trying to write it, it would work.
Definitely something there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope Leedyz not even drawing you right now. That's how little women notice you.
Leedyz like, is the podcast still happening? I thought this was the after show.
My favorite part,
Jarret, this episode.
My favorite part of Is This Anything is where they take like 15 minutes and they just don't say anything. Anything else for this bit, everybody?
No, but it's super fun.
All right. Well, thanks so much for the notes, everybody. That was great.
All right. Well, if that's all we've got, I think it's time for our favorite part of the show.
When I show my ass?
Yeah. Fucking A, baby.
Oh my god.
No,
There it
no.
I do have to join from my iPad really
Yes.
quick.
Mm-hmm. We've got Leedy Doodle Time and Adam Diddle Time.
Jesus
Or
Christ.
doo-doo time.
Ooh, that's better. Ugh, I'm embarrassed now.
No, it's not.
It's
It's Lee D.
Sorry.
It's Leedy Doodle Time. It's time for the doodles that are done by Leedy. I'm doing it 80s rap style, like the very first rappers. I know this is a joke that's been made 100 times already, but that's like I love listening to old school rap, and it's just like, bills get higher every day.
Like hotel, motel, holiday Inn.
Express. Yeah. And it's like back then in the 80s, I was like, how are they doing that?
Well, that was my favorite style of hip hop because I could actually understand it, memorize it, and sing along with it. Now I'm like a lost soul.
You can just rap every like 10th word in current rap.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're like spaghetti, squirrels,
motherfucker. I know that one.
Can't say that.
First up, I drew Jarret, but then Kirsten made me cross him out. And then I have the smooth tones of your voice just melt my heart.
That's great. What a great background.
but you're a little loud.
Then I have the fancy mic.
Ooh,
Hey,
fancy
that's a
mic.
fancy mic.
So
I like that he's wearing a monocle.
Yeah.
He's dapper. Then I have Rob opening up Grindr.
It's the Pulp Fiction moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I have successful surgery.
That's so cute.
Then I have the apple tree.
Jared's charming mother.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Yeah, poor Apple.
Yeah.
He's got a beard. That's so great.
The apple has
a beard, of course.
and like spiky hair on top. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Then I have Carousel, the music.
Ghostbusters. 1-800-799 punch.
Yeah.
Oh
Or
my God, I'm
Ghostbusters.
dying.
Or the
Ghostbusters. That's
Then I have and then last but not
That's
least,
vaguely racist.
that's the makeup from the musical. I've seen it. Like,
yeah.
That's a black person in that drawing.
Yes.
okay.
This isn't a white person doing blackface, Adam.
Yes, I know.
Right.
Thanks for clarifying.
And last but not least, I have Bye, Uncle Adam.
Oh my God, you have to send that to me. Absolutely have to send that to me. And I'm sweating.
And that is it for me.
Excellent.
That
Yeah,
was
so good.
Leedy Doodle time. Leedy Doodle time. That's
Phenomenal.
what that was.
A++.
Awesome. You can follow Leedy at Leedy Corbin on Instagram, leedycorbin.com, patreon.com/leedycorbin, and adamsank.com for Adam. And to listen to the Adam Sank show, you can find all of his information there. Anything else you want to plug, Adam?
Yeah, people can follow me on social media at Adam Sank or on TikTok at Adam Sank Official. Because Adam Sank was already taken.
Son of a
And
bitch.
it's that same old guy that is Rob Ryan.
Exactly. Thanks for having me.
Great.
Thanks
you.
for
This was
coming
so
on,
fun.
Adam. You were great. It was a lovely episode. And also I do highly recommend Adam's Facebook posts are hilarious. So
Thank you.
definitely follow him.
I know.
All right. Thanks for being with us, Adam. Thanks for being with us, Leedy. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Outro goes here. Thanks so much for watching. Check back every Monday for new episodes, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to help support the show, tell your friends how much you like Is This Anything? Or get involved. Like an episode, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more Is This Anything, you got to join our Patreon at patreon.com/ITApod. We have a ton of awesome exclusive content on there, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. Check out the links in the description, and hopefully we'll see you next week.